This is Todd Toback, and today you are going to learn how to generate $400,000 in revenue with less than $5,000 in marketing spend. This is Todd Toback, and I'm super excited to have a very special guest today. I'm actually going to tell you a little bit about a secret that I haven't talked a lot about on this podcast, mostly because I've been kind of keeping it in my pocket. But as we've been doing more shows, I figured, hey, you know what, maybe it's time to spill the beans. There are two things that I want to remind you to do. The first, if you want to connect with me on Facebook or in a group, first of all, I'd love to have you friend request me so you can reach out to me on social media or Instagram at Todd Toback. If you want to connect with me in a Facebook group that I spend a lot of time in, just go to wholesalingconnect.com. That's wholesalingconnect.com. So over the last 24 months, one of the things that we have really exploited in our business is a little known secret of working with Google. And frankly, we didn't even realize it was going on until we actually bought one of our competitors. So we actually bought one of our competitors in another market, and they were using this little marketing channel. And long story short, we started getting revenue from this marketing channel month after month after month after month. And we're like, wow, this is a really, really, really big deal. And at first we thought that it was from the website that we had bought from one of our previous competitors in our market. And by the way, if you're a brand new wholesaler and you're looking to make your first check in real estate, you need to listen to this, because this is going to be one of the cheapest, most effective ways for you to make money. Obviously, if you're an experienced wholesaler and you're looking to make more money in real estate, you've got to use this. And I can't tell you how much money I have probably lost by not doing this. So long story short, over the last few years, we're thinking that we were generating money from the website that we bought from one of our previous competitors in our market. And I got to tell you, these were some of our most profitable, juiciest deals with the most motivated sellers, the people who were looking for us, the people who were ready to do business. We didn't have to fight for the deal. They were contacting us. How good does that sound? Well, long story short, after a 2-year period, us thinking it was the website, it was actually something called Google My Business at the time, Google My Business. And if you have ever Googled anything online, like, hey, air conditioning repair, or how to get rid of garbage, or how to sell my house fast, or how to get rid of a bee's nest, you may have seen a little kind of a yellow page looking like thing that basically lists companies from Google with reviews. And so we started to discover, because we actually had changed the phone numbers, that the majority of them were coming from Google My Business, otherwise known as Google Business Profile. Here's the craziest thing, is that after setting this up, we have basically spent very, very, very little money optimizing this. And I can tell you that if you do this right, you could start seeing results with this in as little as 30 days. I've generated close to $400,000 with this tool within the last 24 months. It's single-handedly changed the profitability of our business. I can't tell you, one of the things I can't measure is how many deals we have gotten actually because of it that we've used in other marketing sources. And here's the great thing, is that I barely knew what I was doing. So today we have an expert, and I want to invite Ed. Ed, welcome to the show.
Hey, Todd, thanks for having me.
So Ed, tell us a little bit about you and what you do.
So I've been in the digital marketing space since 2010, running my own agency for the last 7 years. I probably helped hundreds of clients, thousands of students basically optimize, do their stuff on the internet, take advantage of Google's platform to grow their businesses. So keeping it simple, I'm in the business of lead generation, and we've been very successful at leveraging Google to do it.
Okay. So if you could do me a favor and tell everyone who's listening to this, what the heck was I talking about? Right? I mean, I'm talking about this thing from, I'm talking about this thing from Google, Google My Business, right? Obviously, it has another name right now, but can you just share with us a little bit about, what that is and why it's been working so well for me, and
Well,
and more importantly, why it's going to work so well for everybody's listening today.
sure. So Google My Business, a lot of people have seen it. There are people who don't put a lot of stock in it, and they should. Obviously, you do, and you've gotten great results with it. Google My Business is basically another product that Google offers. It essentially allows you to showcase your business on the first page of Google and do it for free. A lot of people don't realize that Google does offer free stuff. You can run ads, right? You can do what they call PPC, running ads. But what we found is 80% of the people that run ad or are looking for searches are actually bypassing the ads. They're going straight to the organic section.
Mhm.
So they're going straight to Google My Business and or they're going to the website.
So Ed, I'm going to
So
stop you. So what is organic, right? What does organic
yeah,
mean? Everyone's listening to this. Remember, pretend like, because for me, I have no idea what I'm talking about with
yeah.
this stuff. So guys, if you're listening to this and you're like, I know that, you'll have to excuse me. So go ahead. What does that mean?
So organic basically means the stuff that you do naturally that Google typically finds. There's the stuff that you do that you have to pay money
Mhm.
to rank on Google, and then there's the things you could do for free to rank organically. The way we look at it is how you rank on page one of Google.
Okay.
So it's basically the GMB section, the Google Map Pack section, or the area right below it for websites list.
Okay. So you said a couple things that I was that may have been a little confusing. So you talk about organic. So someone Googles something, let's just say how to sell my house fast, for instance, right? One of my favorites. And you have the paid results, which you talked about, right? And then the
Mhm.
free results, which go below that, right? Which is Google My Business or Google Business Profile, right? And then
Correct.
below that are where the kind of the websites show up,
Correct.
right? So this Google My Business, and by the way, I think we'll call it, we'll call it that for the purpose of the show. Why does that? First of all, number one, why do people bypass the paid ads for the Google My Business? And then why does the Google My Business show up before the websites? Right? Because I know what you're saying is true, but why would they do that? Right? Someone's listening to this. We're trying to find the hack and give people some reasoning here.
Yeah, Google My Business is without a doubt the cheat code. The reason why people bypass the ads is because anybody can run an ad, right? And people psychologically know this. So when somebody has a Google My Business profile, you're basically telling Google or you're telling individuals that you're more trustworthy because not just anybody can show up there, right? Google trusts it more. And because Google trusts it more, that psychological factor plays a role. It actually helps with converting people into customers at a way higher level. We see this time and time again. So because it's free, because it's a piece of real estate that Google provides, they wanted to showcase front and center. And the businesses that show up at the top can generate way more leads than people in other spots and close way more business as a result of it.
So I can tell you, Ed, the leads that we've gotten from this have been, by far the best leads, right? They're the most motivated. They are looking for what we offer. There's no convincing, we'll probably close 1 out of 7 leads that call versus 1 out of every 30 from direct mail. 1 out of every 100 for cold calling. I mean, it's just night and day. Our biggest, juiciest deals have come from this. So, okay, someone wants to set up a Google My Business, right? Let's go. This is where I'm going to extract you for information here. How do they do it, right? Let's give us like the first like 3 or 4 tips on how to do it. I mean, it
Yeah.
seems like pretty easy, right? You can get a free account. So kind of
Yeah.
coach us here.
So you can go to google.com/places and create one for free. It could take you about a half an hour time to do it. The real important thing is to make sure you fill out everything in its entirety, every section. Don't leave anything out. What we often see is people leave certain pieces out and Google's not picking up information that they wanted to find.
Mhm.
So the idea is to fill out every section as completely as possible. One thing that we find is there's a category section that you get to. You'll have your main category, but what people don't realize, there are subcategories. And in the real estate industry, there could be a multitude of other categories that you could be known for that Google could serve you as an option. A lot of people we find don't even do that, and they're leaving money on the table. So by optimizing the category section as well as the subcategory section, it's actually going to give you more real estate that Google's going to give you over time. The other thing you want to do is make sure that the description section is completely filled out. I think you get like 750 characters. The key is you don't want to ever sound salesy. You want to be just natural, talk about your services, talk about the market you service, the audience, etc. Google likes keeping it simple and non-salesy. Something else you could do is you can geotag images and upload images.
Let's start there because that's that first part. So
yeah.
So that first part is, you want to fill out the descriptions, and then is there kind of keywords that you use? Is that important? Like the words that
actually, no, Google provides those categories, everything in advance. So you simply just name your business, put your address, your phone number, your website, all that information, and then pick your category, your subcategory, and just rifle down the line.
Right.
Taking the time to do it right makes a big difference.
Right.
We've seen people go through quick.
What about the keywords in the description?
Keywords in the description is okay as long as you don't overdo it. There are people that will mention their main keyword like 6 or 7 times. That's called keyword stuffing. And that's not something that's natural to Google, and they're going to sniff it out. So you want to be think of it this way, do what's natural. This way Google doesn't sniff it out and then, de-rank it.
Right.
So if you mention your main keyword maybe a couple times at the very most in that description, you'll be safe. But if you do more than that, you risk, putting yourself in trouble with Google.
Okay.
The other thing to think about is taking photos. Google's getting better at reading photos, but we still have a best practice of renaming all our photos before we upload them, just to make sure that we're covering that angle of it. Also, geotagging.
Well, so let me go rewind there, right? So when you talk about renaming photos, this could be taken a lot of different ways, right?
Sure.
And I've learned this, right? So what do you, I want to rewind this here. Take us back when you say renaming photos, right? Because you could mean, well, hey, this is like the title I give the photo, like underneath on a web page, or is it the file name, right? That you're talking about that you actually hit file, save as, right? Like, what do you mean by that, renaming the file?
So
or renaming the
any
image?
photo, let's say you took a bunch of photos on your phone and you got them now, you put them on your laptop, right?
Yeah.
They're going to be like a JPEG or a PNG, depending on the name of the file or the type of the file. All you need to do is right click on the photo. It'll be like a screenshot, or it'll be generic based on how your phone reads it.
Yeah.
You're simply going to go in there and rename the photo. You don't want to say like home sold number 1, home sold number 2. You want to vary it up so it's not like a repeatable pattern. So it could be home sold in Sacramento in October 2022. It could be this, it could be that, it could be something else. So making variety of your naming convention is important. So just don't name your photos all the same thing, because again, that's not natural. A lot of people do that. I like playing on the safe side. It protects us. It basically future-proofs our efforts with Google.
All right. So what are you doing though? Are you trying to use some keywords in there? Are you trying to use locations?
Yep. I like using locations. I like using abbreviated states. So as an example, if, we bought a home in Charlotte, North Carolina, I say home purchased in Charlotte, NC .jpeg. So something like that is making it very clear to Google what that photo is about.
Okay.
As they get better, it becomes less important. But for right now, we want to make sure that we do that properly.
Okay. So now you're uploading photos, right? But how many photos should you upload? What kind of photos? Tell us a little bit more about that.
So my rule of thumb is get as many photos as possible. We like to start with like 50 photos is a good rule of thumb.
Mm-hmm.
We also like to consistently add photos. We don't want to just do it one time and forget about it. What we find is the more we use Google My Business Profile, the more attention it gets Google, and then it ranks faster. So the idea is, upload a bunch of photos, but then be consistent about adding a certain amount, every couple of weeks, once a month. But I'd say about 50 is a good general rule of thumb. The other thing to mention about photos, a lot of people depending on their privacy settings on their phones, you have location services turned on. If you do, you have GPS coordinates naturally embedded on your photos. That's a feather in your cap. That's a good thing. So when you upload those photos, they inherently have GPS coordinates on them. But if you have location services turned off on your phone, you'd have to go through the process of doing it manually, which is a way more challenging process. My suggestion: just make sure location services are turned on all your photos you take, and you got yourself covered.
Okay, so you can do that out of the manual. I think you can do that in Photoshop, right? But you also can obviously have it
Yeah.
from your phone. Like I do notice, I'll just give everyone a little hack here, is if I have a picture on an iPhone and you actually swipe up, you'll see the coordinates on
Yeah.
that picture. So that's interesting. Is it okay if I give everyone a hack, by the way? Is that okay, everyone
Absolutely.
listening to this? So one of the things that our team is, I've noticed that uploading a picture like almost every day seems to be helping. But everyone's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to come up with a picture like every single day? Well, if you're at a picture, if you are at a house, you can take 100 pictures of the same property. It could be like different rooms, right? So it could be the bathroom, it could be the kitchen, it could be the outside, it could be the roof, it could be the driveway, it could be the crack in the driveway, it could be the cockroach in the kitchen, right? And so you could get 50 to 100 pictures from one property. And we do that for every property. So it's like, we have so many pictures that we could upload that are always geotagged. So one of the things that's really cool I've noticed is that, the way that it's managed is that those all go in a Google folder, and the people who do this for us, right? They just take them right out of the folder and can upload them from there.
Yep, agreed. The thing people forget is the consistency of using it. What we've learned over the years is Google loves when you use their properties. The
Mhm.
more you use their property, the more attention you're going to get from them. And a lot of people might get overwhelmed by posting something every day. Look, you can do a blog post on the Google My Businesses as well. It doesn't need to be 2, 3, 400 words. It could literally be, you can voice, here's a good cheat code.
Well, let me
You can voice
rewind, because you just said something really good beforehand. Okay, so you mentioned the blog post. What is that, right? That you're talking about? Because remember, you were talking to like a bunch of newbies, right?
Yeah.
So the first time I heard this, I was like, "What the heck? I don't even know anything about that." So what do you mean by that?
So a lot of people are familiar with when you have a website, you can have blog posts that you
Right.
can post on your site. Google provides the same exact option or service on the Google My Business profile.
Okay.
This is an extremely underused component that we found really does get a lot of traction. When you use it, you're showing Google like you like using their property, but it gives you the opportunity to actually talk about something relevant to your industry. So it could be something as simple as did an assessment on this home in Austin, Texas. That could be the entire post, and it could be an image. People seem to think you have to do these long, drawn out posts. You don't. And what's cool is you could do it from your phone. You don't even have to do it from a computer. So you could be out on the road and do it. So the way we look at this is it could be one line, it could be an image, and then you can just have, call us now or learn more on our website or whatever. It's a really great thing. And what we found is the people that do this consistently, it improves their ranking of their Google My Business profile significantly, because most others are not doing this. They're leaving money on the table.
One of the things that I've seen, Ed, is, looking through this, it's like I see a lot of half-built profiles, right? Where people will just start it, and there's a ton of those, but there's only like a couple of people who have really gone all the way. And those people like completely dominate the search rankings. I know that's kind of a leading question, a loading question, but
No, well, but no, you're right though. You're right, Todd, because there's so many that are leaving money on the table. They're putting a half-hearted effort into it. Maybe they don't understand the importance of it. But yeah, like we see it all the time. Going all in with these is a game changer. Not to mention the fact that you also can get a free website from Google. Going to, I think it's sites.google.com. So you can have 2 free pieces of real estate on the first page of Google, and just using these has the ability to give you more access to people that you're trying to reach. So 100%, the more you're filling out your information, the more detailed it is, the more you consistently use it, you're demonstrating to Google that you're a serious business that wants to dominate the market, and they reward you accordingly. Mm-hmm. They really do. And the other thing I'll mention is, let's not forget about reviews. Reviews are huge. In a world where current credibility is very important, we always like to see as many reviews as possible. I would say if you can just get more than your top competitor, you'll be good. Because if you think about it, if somebody lands on a Google search for whatever, they're going to see 3 main searches. Whoever has the most reviews, psychologically, it's like instant credibility, right? And then you might click on those and read them, etc. So our suggestion is always get as many reviews as you can and respond to those reviews within 24 to 48 hours. Why? Because you're showing Google you're very responsive, you provide great customer service. It's one of those cheat codes that helps to rank it a lot faster.
Okay, so let me throw this out there, and I have a hack for this, but I'll ask you because you might have a lot of business owners who are thinking, hey, I've got this successful business, I'm doing a great job, or maybe I've got this business and I'm going to do a great job, and they're like, how do I get more reviews, right? Because they may not even have as many customers as their competitors. So what are some hacks here to be able to do this the right way and ethically?
Yeah, I'm with you. The easy way to do this is anybody that's had any relationships with you, they can leave you a character reference type review. If they've done business with you in different capacity, they can leave you a Google review. If you don't have a lot of customers yet where you have that credibility in that space, without a doubt, somebody else can leave you a character reference, right? That's totally okay. And then obviously respond to those reviews as soon as possible. That's something that we recommend to people that are like they're relatively brand new in business, and it serves them well. Google does not look at that or frown upon that whatsoever because they're still legitimate, right? I mean, they're still saying, I had the pleasure of doing business with such and such a person on a project. Just don't talk about the detail of the project in case it has nothing to do with, your current business. So I would highly recommend get reviews from people you've done business with in different capacities in life. That's totally fine. Get a dozen, 15, 20. In my opinion, that'd be a good number to shoot for as soon as you can. Once you get over that 10 number, the algorithm, the way Google reads everything, starts to accelerate a lot faster.
Right. One other hack that I've noticed, Ed, is to get people to leave reviews also. I'll see vendors who I've done business with, and I'll leave them a review first, either on their Google My Business profile or like on their Facebook profile, right? And we'll say, hey, they did a great job because they did. Right? Let's say they were a realtor, they did a deal to our property inspector or a notary that we used, and we leave that review, and then we'll take a screenshot and be like, hey, would you mind? And we'll send them that link. And we noticed that really, really helps to get them to reciprocate the same way.
Agreed, 100%. So Google My Business is really, really important. Leveraging it, using it completely, filling out all the information that you possibly can, and then consistently using it. A lot of people I've seen go on the honeymoon phase where they're really excited about their business. They're adding stuff to it. They might add posts to it, but then after a couple months, that honeymoon phase wears off, and then they stop doing it. And it's the things that you did to start are the things that are going to help you long term. So the amount of time you might need to invest per week, it could be like 20 minutes a week. It doesn't need to be a lot of time. It just needs to be focused. Hey, 20 minutes a week, I'm going to add photos, I'm going to get a review, what have you. But that little bit of effort compounded over time is you're literally going to dominate your competitors because 95% of the people out there are not doing this stuff and they're going to get smoked.
Right. What you just said actually is the most important thing out of this entire show. And that is the consistency. Because remember, I talked a lot about like the half-built profiles or like a few reviews where you'll see like people start and then they haven't. So it's interesting because I was doing a training right now on novations is a specific type of real estate that we're talking about this. And I was using the example of an air conditioning person who had like a bunch of reviews and they used to be number one. I noticed that, but they stopped posting pictures and I noticed they've fallen to like the second page. right? Whereas the person who's the most consistent is going to see those results over time. What I've noticed in my business, and anyone, if you're listening to this, is either I need to learn how to be consistent, or if I'm not going to be consistent, I better partner with someone who's going to do it for me. And that's what because I'm so like ADD and I'm like all over the place. I need those people, around me. So if you're a do-it-yourselfer, that's great. Put it on your calendar, make it happen, right? Do the keywords, do the pictures, upload that, do the microblogging, get out the reviews. That's going to be real important. If you're not, right, my recommendation is to work with someone who's going to do it for you. And I'll talk a little bit how you can get a hold of Ed here at the end of the show. But tell us a little bit, maybe do you have one other piece of a tip that they could do to really, really get results from this point? Because really, at the end of the day, what we're looking for is smoking hot leads here, Ed, right? People who want to do business and sell their house that we could help. So what's one other thing that someone could take out of this?
Well, I would say, I mean, it's kind of common sense, but it's literally taking action like immediately. Like if somebody hears this, I'd be on Google My Business, google.com/places like immediately. And I would get it built out like immediately. And I would start leveraging those assets to my advantage. To me, this is where a lot of people miss it because they're like, that sounds great, but I'll get to it later. And I've learned the most successful people are people that are decisive and they take action with what they've learned immediately. And using Google My Business right away and start that process. And even going out and building a Google website, sites.google.com. It's a free website. You can literally have 2 pieces of real estate on the first page of Google today. Well, not on the first page of Google today, but you could be working your way towards that because if you do the things I'm suggesting and you do them consistently, you are going to smoke other people. It's the consistency is really the one missing element that I see in the digital space, especially when it comes to Google. Google rewards consistency 100%.
Right. So I want to emphasize you can absolutely do this all for free, right? You could go in there, you could do the keywords, you could, do the pictures and tag them and the titles and, all that stuff right here. But one of the things that Ed does is, Ed, can you tell us a little bit about what your agency does? And at the end, tell people how to get a hold of you.
Yeah. So we offer a done for you service for clients. What we've found is most clients, they know their wheelhouse, they know their strength, and they want to stay in their area. And they outsource the areas that they're weak. So a lot of people like to use our service because it's a done for you service. We do everything we just talked about and we do it consistently. And we move the ball downfield as hard as we can, as fast as we can to get results. It's all about leads. It's all about return on investment. And for us, we just want to make sure that we could brand your business well and get it out there so Google serves it and you rank the way you're supposed to. So we offer done for you service with regards to the Google My Business, with the Google free website. We also offer services to build out traditional websites with WordPress, which is a third piece of real estate that you can leverage and rank on Google.
Awesome. Well, how can people get a hold of you, Ed?
Easiest way, book a call with ed.com.
bookacallwithed.com. Awesome. That's very, very easy. So bookacallwithed.com. So 2 pieces. That's awesome. If you want to have this done for you, give Ed a call. Also, if you want to connect with me on a Facebook group that I spend time in, go to wholesalingconnect.com. Would love to see you in there. Also, if you're looking to get a copy of the exact motivated seller script that I use to talk to motivated sellers on a daily basis that we've used to lock up over 1,400 deals, go to nolimitsrealestateinvesting.com/script, and I will talk to you on the next episode.